Ladies, gentlemen, and you beautiful in-betweens, hello and welcome to Citizen Sleeper. I'm Calmputer, and I've had Citizen Sleeper on my radar ever since before it was released. Yet I could never bring myself to start it. Possibly because I fear it'll consume all of my free time and my life. But I shall not let my fears rule me any further. But we are an escaped worker, washed ashore on a lawless space station, and now we have to learn to survive at the edge of an interstellar society. And so, without further ado, let's begin a new game. We have a class to choose. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. We work with digital interfaces, but we are bad at using strength or strength of will. Interesting. Engage, intuit, endure, interface, engineer. Those are all the same. Alright. Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Also, we do get perks. But, works with machines and physical tools, but we're bad with approaching problems head-on. Alright. Perk, efficient extractor. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. Okay. Transfer intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. And extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction. That makes sense. Often in hard vacuum environments, that does not. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Photosynthetic skin. Sunbathe. Dice action allows energy recovery at home. That is pretty wonderful. You need to take care of your shoulder a little bit better. Lift with your back, and all of that. Use strength or strength of will is good, but we don't really approach problems with awareness, apparently. I think we will be an operator. Unknown. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Where are you? It's at its worst when waking. When yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real. To be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, forget that body. Let's think about the body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought. Blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease. a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the others, remember the plan. That sounds good. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan. But then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too. Everywhere. Screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold. Softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Oh, hello. Okay, we can scroll, but something here wants our attention. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges, where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with foggy eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Stay silent. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Yeah. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world, but as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. I wonder if I'm the only copy, though. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least, the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it, from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's something we see in today's world, too. But having it be tied to people feels very bleak. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Thank you. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue? You shakily get to your feet. Nod. All right. You head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks. His drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. I see. Tutorial Introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on their icon. Thank you. Empty container. Well, that's right next door, basically. Let's look at this place a little bit more. Oh, okay, never mind. We couldn't go farther that way, and okay. So we have some kind of a hub in the middle as well. We can learn from that. View character. Oh, that's a lot. But it seems like we can upgrade. Yeah, upgrade points. Nice. And these cost 2 points, and these cost 3 points, and we do have one that is at -1, so it'll cost 1 point to upgrade here, then here, I suppose? No, first to 0, which gives us nothing, and then to 1, and then to 2. Got it, except 2 upgrade points to get here, and then 3 to get here? Well, all right. Let's see what else we can do. Cryo. Cryptocurrency. Well, of course. This seems to be a very, well, late-stage capitalist society. End stage, possibly. So, of course, they have cryptocurrencies. Stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Got it. And I have 0 of them. We also have 0 data, which is problematic, probably. Let's go home sweet home. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. All cycles need to end. That sounds rather bleak, I think, but sure. So, we're slowly dying. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Well, you know one person already, though they seem a little cold, maybe. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape? Well, we've done that. Getting answers, building a life. Building a life matters. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The Malai blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud on the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning in your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. I see. Tutorial condition, action dice, and energy. Condition. Your condition presents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but you can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition, now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you will roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further action and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. Okay. But... flickering. Oh, the entire place tilts a little bit here. And I'm guessing... No, I don't know which is which. Not yet. One of these is condition and the other one is, I suppose, energy. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. All right then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap, including me. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. And the yard is the only place to go for the moment. No, never mind. Low-end gate. Passage into the low-end gate. I don't know what happens if I do that, and I need money. So, Dragos yard. Tutorial. Actions 1 out of 2. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Repeatable action, hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Input dice. Or manual salvage, but this one seems to have a slightly lesser chance of succeeding. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. 100% chance positive, 50% chance positive to neutral, and then 25% chance of positive, 50 for neutral, and 25 for negative. And then it's 50 negative or neutral. Okay. Actions, page 2 out of 2. Actions display information about the type, risk, level, and the skill and modifiers that apply to that action. Type 1. Repeatable action, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. 2. This is risk, either safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome mean cryo or energy loss. Okay. Risky indeed. Skill, endure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have, like, endure, intuit, and some other, like, engineer, obviously there, yeah. The skill that this action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Endure is bad for us, apparently. Modifier, either a -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Doesn't seem to always improve it, judged by this -1. And we do have this -1 here. Wait, if I leave and check. I'm good at interface. Bad at endure, but we're neutral, intuit, engage, interface. No, not interface. Engineer. Alright. Right, risky. But this is safe. A debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Back in business, every salvager knows there are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. Right. Well, this is risky, so we absolutely want that to succeed. And also 4, 4, 6, 5. I really feel like they should be in order. But this is safe. Let's go with 6 on you. And I think we can still do... Oh, okay, I can't do them both at the same time. 25% negative. Let's do you first. Clocks. Actions often progresses clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something, good or bad, is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle, and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Back in business, both of these are repeatable. Manual salvage, but we're bad at that, so let's not worry about it. 25% chance of a negative, but 25 of a positive. Let's make sure it's either of these two. Doesn't say what we got in the last one, I don't think. Maybe it was just neutral. Drives and navigation, 1 and 2. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. Find a doctor. That's this one, I suppose. Drives and navigation, 2 out of 2. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. I see. Use the mouse wheel or W and S to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. Thank you. Back in business, plus 15 cryo. But this doesn't seem to have moved much. What do you say? Repay Dragos. Or we can survive. No completed drives. Repay Dragos? Dragos pulled you out of the salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. Help pay off Dragos' debt, toggle tracking. Or survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals. Otherwise, this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Oh, toggle it off. Okay. Well, I only have 2 4s left. I'm a little annoyed that the information about what I just accomplished disappears so quickly, even though we could also see it here. Cycle lock clock, right. Yeah, let's leave and find ourselves. Shipyard, construction yard, nothing over here that I can see. Oh wow, that's a lot. Hello, Dock C4. That's bleak too. Rotunda, an old terminal. Dock B2, Rotunda, wet dock. Bustling open market. Well, that has this little thing here that makes me think we can maybe find a doctor here. Ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach the... oh boy, danger. Explore the market. The smells, sounds, and the buzzing activity of the bright market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. I don't know if this is 25 negative, but 75 neutral or positive. This, however, is the same, but it is dangerous. The bright market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Let's be risky, but not dangerous. Please. Neutral outcome, local knowledge. We need to do that 3 times, though. This... I don't know. Plus. Oh, no, that was good. Excellent, in fact. Local knowledge. We have that. Find a doctor. It's still not... where... slum doctor. Next comes the call from an enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. That's a surefire way to bring attention to yourself, though. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through the far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask. A scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying," they say without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Yes, we have heard those stories. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is of use to you. Actually, no, it explains my situation. Best to know such things." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance." Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me?" Sabine walks away to the window, her face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. "Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk into the crowd. "Well, that's good at least. Emphis street food vendor, we do need food." Emphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. That doesn't mean good. It's just beyond belief. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payments. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphis speaks in a deep, even tone, without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus, laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility, and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now, it seems, you tell him like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hands. Next time, we can talk some more, he smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side, and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time, then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. Forearms, though. I can't see them. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Lovely. Wait for Sabine to acquire the stabilizer. Repay, get to know Emphis. Build a ship mind. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. Indeed. But I think we're out. Oh, well, we do have energy, so this is food. And this is not. All right. Also. Oh. Okay. Yeah. But if we use the mouse scroll, we turn to this vantage point always. Do we have something? No, we don't have anything there. I mean, we can't actually do anything more, I don't think. Tunda wet dogs. Well, C4. Yeah, let's take a look. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helian system are rare, but those that do always return, eventually. Well, that didn't do much. Oh, this just means I haven't been here before. Except, no, because I have been here before, and that's still pulsing like that. Alright, well, we're gonna go sleep, I think. End cycle. Yeah. This time, you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretch out across the colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging at the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Oh, you don't touch? But I do. You find a point in the station, and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back, trembling, into this unfamiliar body. Both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. That was cool. Also a little bit scary, but definitely cool. There is more to this than meets the mind, apparently. Yeah, I'm kind of in love with this ambiance, this universe. Yeah. Definitely a game I want to play more. But that's gonna have to be something I do on my own. Maybe I will review the entire game after I finish it. Don't know. Time will tell. Also, there is a sequel coming out in early 2025, so this is the perfect time to pick up the original and play. And with all of that said and done, ladies, gentlemen, and you beautiful in-betweens, I've been Calmputer, this has been Citizen Sleeper, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in next time.